The one guy that I'm going to war for is Dillon Brooks.
Yeah, I saw him on your list.
I think Dillon Brooks deserves to be an all-star. He's the only difference in the team. You got to give him his flowers. And I'm going to tell you what I compare it to.
What?
Draymond Green.
Everyone felt bad for Devin Booker. The super team collapsed around him. Durant and Beal gone. And Book was stuck in Phoenix with a roster that Vegas projected to win 30 games. The narrative was already written. Booker wasting his prime on a team going nowhere. But here's where Phoenix stands right now. Top 5 defense in the entire NBA, on pace for 48 wins, and one of their best players on most nights.
Up the floor quickly. Brooks right on Reeves. Oh, James was there to block it. What an angle from Dillon Brooks.
A 30-year-old wing who the league has fined more times than they've praised him. The Suns gave away Dylan the Villain t-shirts to their fans, and the same night, Brooks dropped a career-high 40 points against the Eastern Conference leading Detroit Pistons. Devin Booker wasn't even in the lineup. So yeah, who let the Phoenix Suns get away with this? Look, you know what happened this summer. The Suns moved on from the super team era. KD and Beal are gone. Phoenix got Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green in return. The reaction was predictable. The Suns will be lucky to make the play-in. And honestly, on paper, those takes made sense. You've acquired a defensive specialist known more for trash talk than production. His reputation preceded him, and not in a good way. But Phoenix saw something different. They saw the culture piece they'd been missing. The question was whether Brooks could actually deliver, or whether his act would wear thin. 8 months later, we have our answer. The Suns are on pace to win 18 more games than Vegas projected, and they've pretty much matched the win total that experts thought would take them 82 games to reach. And here's the thing about Brooks though. You can't just drop him onto any roster and expect it to work. This is a guy who's been called dirty, reckless, a liability. He's been public enemy number 1 for fan bases across the league. So how did Phoenix get the version of Dillon Brooks that transforms a franchise? That's where this story gets interesting. And it starts with an exercise bike and some Kobe film. In the years leading up to him joining the Suns, Brooks would get on the exercise bike and study Kobe Bryant film. 30-minute sessions, one video focused entirely on one dribble pull-up jumpers, another on post footwork. He took notes on the subtle stuff, the way Kobe used his upper body to create space, the little bumps he'd throw to get defenders off balance, the footwork patterns that opened up mid-range looks. Brooks talked about it after his 40-point game. I knew after the series with Golden State that I wanted to be more of a scorer, more of an option. So the whole summer, I was working on things. And then when the trade happened, that was an opportunity for me to be a well-rounded scorer and have more opportunity. And the results have been undeniable. Brooks is averaging 21 points per game this season. That's a career high by nearly 3 full points. His previous best was 18.4 back in Memphis. For context, his career average coming into this season was 14.7 points. He's scoring nearly 7 more points per game than his career norm. He's attempting more shots than ever with 17.1 field goal attempts per game compared to his previous high of 16.4. His free throw attempts are up. His free throw percentage jumped to 86%, another career best. Everything is trending in the right direction. But here's the stat that really stands out. In the final 4 seconds of the shot clock, when defenses are set and good looks are hard to find, Dillon Brooks is shooting 70% on 2-point attempts. That's second in the entire NBA.
Brooks working on Holland. Holland, long arm, strong body. Dillon with the runner. Oh, he is in the villain back.
The only guy ahead of him is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's not luck. That's the Kobe homework paying off. At 30 years old, in his 9th NBA season, Dillon Brooks figured out how to add a completely new dimension to his game. Most players plateau way before this point in their careers. Brooks is having his best season ever. The scoring has been great, career-high points, clutch shooting, the whole deal. But if that's all Brooks brought to Phoenix, they'd be a slightly better version of last year's team. The real transformation happened on the other end of the floor, and it started before the season even began. In August, Suns owner Matt Ishbia promised fans that this year's team would play with toughness and grit. Those words get thrown around a lot in the NBA. Every team says they want to be tough. Very few actually follow through. Phoenix followed through because of Dillon Brooks. During a pre-season scrimmage, not a game, a scrimmage, Brooks picked up a technical foul, the season hadn't started yet, and he was already getting teed up. That's who this guy is. He doesn't have an off switch. There's another story from earlier in the year. One of his teammates accidentally elbowed Brooks in the face during practice. 6 stitches, blood everywhere. Most guys will be frustrated, maybe a little heated. Brooks walked over, dapped him up, told him that's how practice should be. Physical, competitive, no soft stuff. Oso Ighodaro talked about what it's like being around Brooks every day. He's been challenging me since the day he got here. I feel like he's making me a better player, even more mentally than anything. He's been telling me to have thick skin and just go be a tough guy in this league. That mentality has infected the entire roster.
Quick question. Why are you still paying crazy sportsbook fees in 2026? Polymarket charges just 10 cents and you can cash out instantly anytime.
Your team starts out hot, you can take your cash out instantly, while other sportsbooks will block you and then charge you around $9 for every $100 you win. I'm not exaggerating when I say this changes everything. This week, I'm taking the Nuggets over OKC. It's the matchup everyone's been waiting for. Jokic should be back, and I think he'll pick up straight where he left off before injury. Denver will have too many options offensively, and defensively, Denver will be able to slow down SGA just enough for the Nuggets to have a big win at home. Polymarket is legal in all 50 states, and they're so confident you won't go back to sportsbooks that they're putting $10 free on it. No deposit, no card info. Just use my code HOOPS10 at my link below and see for yourself. And the numbers tell the story better than any anecdote could. Last season, Phoenix ranked 30th in half-court defense, dead last in the league. They were 27th in overall points allowed, and this season, 6th in half-court defense, top 10 in points allowed. Same core players, Booker, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, the holdovers from last year. The difference is effort and accountability. Brooks leads by example on that end. He takes the toughest defensive assignment every night. He's 4th in the league in deflections per game and 5th in loose balls recovered. The hustle stats that don't show up in highlights, but absolutely show up in wins. The dirty work that championship teams need someone to do. Coach Jordan Ott put it best. I've been around some guys that only bring it out during games, but he brings it out every single day in practice. And I think he's dragged a couple of people with him. Guys that I probably wouldn't assume practice that intense every single day. He raises everyone's level. There was a moment a few weeks ago that captured the dynamic perfectly. During a timeout, cameras caught Brooks shouting at Ott. Not a respectful disagreement, full-on yelling at his head coach. Most organizations would have a problem with that. Ott's response? He told me I sucked, in so many words, that I messed up the last couple of possessions on who to get involved. And he was right. That's accountability. That's a player who cares more about winning than being liked. And that's the culture Phoenix was missing for years. Teammate Jamari Bouye summed it up. When I first got here, he was one of the guys who told me to play free and be myself. He just leads everyone, not just me, but everyone. I think we all follow him. He's hungry, he plays with energy and physicality. One Bleacher Report analyst nailed the transformation. Simply playing hard is now one of the defining characteristics of the Suns. Yes, much of that is direct product of the attitude from newcomers such as Dillon Brooks, but they're infusing something into the roster that's bled into holdovers like Booker and Grayson Allen. So we've got the defensive transformation, we've got the career year scoring, we've got a locker room that finally plays with edge, but there's one more piece to the Dillon Brooks experience, the part that makes him must-watch television every single night. The villain stuff, the trash talk, the LeBron beef. Because if you're going to understand what Brooks brings to Phoenix, you have to understand what happens when he sees number 23 on the other side. The rivalry started in the 2023 playoffs. Brooks was still in Memphis. The Grizzlies drew the Lakers in the first round. Before Game 2, Brooks told reporters he wanted to knock out LeBron's legacy. Then he backed it up with this quote, "I don't care, he's old, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. The Lakers beat Memphis in 6 games. LeBron averaged 22 points on efficient shooting. His Instagram caption after the series, "If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear." Most players would have learned their lesson. Most players would have backed off. Brooks doubled down. This season, the beef has reached new heights. In December, the Suns came back from a 20-point deficit against LA. Brooks hit the go-ahead 3 with 12.2 seconds left. Game should have been over. Instead, Brooks got in LeBron's face, chest to chest, and caught an ejection. LeBron hit the game-winning free throws. 3 days later, a reporter asked Brooks about the incident. His response? He's a social media junkie. The next time these teams played, Brooks went for 25 points in a Suns blowout win, 132-108. But here's what makes the rivalry valuable beyond entertainment. Brooks embraces being the villain so completely that it creates a weird sort of freedom. He's not worried about his reputation. He's not trying to be liked. That allows him to play without fear, to take shots that other players might hesitate on, to defend with physicality that borders on reckless. He leads the NBA with 14 technical fouls this season. The league has rescinded 3 of them upon review, which tells you something about how officials perceive him versus reality. There's an argument that Brooks is being punished for his reputation more than his actions. One referee in particular, Curtis Blair, has called multiple texts on Brooks that ended up getting rescinded. But he doesn't care. That's the whole point. Charles Barkley made an interesting comparison recently. He said what Brooks is doing for Phoenix is similar to what Draymond Green did for the Warriors during their championship runs. Not the same player, but the same effect. The emotional engine. The guy who sets the tone and holds everyone accountable. I hope he makes it, Barkley said about All-Star voting, but I don't think he's going to make it. But I want people to know I appreciate what he's bringing to the table. Even LeBron, after one of their battles this season, showed respect. He's a great competitor. I like going against him. And he was hooping tonight for sure. He shot the ball exceptionally well and kept them in the game. Which brings us back to the Suns hosting Detroit. The best team in the East, Booker is out with an ankle injury. The organization decides this is the perfect night to do a Dillon Brooks t-shirt giveaway. Dillon the Villain across the chest for the first 5,000 fans. No pressure or anything. Brooks scored 24 points in the first half. By the end of the third quarter, he had 38. Already a career high with 12 minutes still to play. He finished with 40 points on 13 of 22 shooting, including 4 of 7 from 3 and 10 of 12 from the line. 8 rebounds, 4 assists. The Suns won 114-96. His previous career high was 37 points set back in 2021 with Memphis. When asked about the t-shirt night afterward, Brooks kept it simple. I like it. Anything you can give to the fans, stuff like that is cool for me. Coach Ott had a different take on the shirts. Definitely didn't expect it to look like that. That's who he is. It's not an alter ego. That's who he is. That's what he's brought. Brooks has even started passing the torch. Before the season, he annoyed a teammate, Colin Gillespie, as Villain Jr. for adopting the same tenacity and edge. Ott joked that there might be another t-shirt coming soon. The Phoenix Suns were supposed to be bad this year. They were supposed to bottom out, maybe sneak into the play-in. Instead, they're a top 5 defense and a legitimate path deep into the playoffs. They got here by betting on a guy most of the league considers a pest, a villain, a player who talks too much and gets too many texts and makes enemies everywhere he goes. But that villain studied Kobe film until he became a 21-point scorer. He transformed a 30-ranked defense into a top 5 unit. He holds teammates and coaches accountable in ways that Phoenix desperately needed. He gets in LeBron's face and doesn't flinch. The Suns didn't get better by chasing stars. They got better by adding someone willing to be hated. Someone who embraces the role so completely that it elevates everyone around him. Can Phoenix make some noise in the playoffs? Drop your take below. And as always, like and hype the video. Subscribe for more videos like this one and check out one of these on your screen now.